How did the spritz come about? Any place you go in Europe, your product is in a kid's hand after an arduous 4 days of studying. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, our product is in the hand of those which are in the drinking age. I mean, that's what
that would be true. Yes, they're of course all above.
Not kids. And clearly, we've been working at it for 13 years. We bought the brand 13 years ago. It was very small. It was very regional in the northeast of Italy, where everybody was having 5 a day. And we rolled it out through Italy, developed the model, and then went to paint the world orange.
Can you use the Italian model in Austria? Can you use the Italian model in Alabama?
We do. Well, we used it last year in the Hamptons. We trialed it, and it works very, very well.
You went low market to go to the Hamptons, right?
So we're gonna expand it.
Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Francine.
We were in Italy covering the elections. Good morning. I don't know whether you worry more about political uncertainty in Italy and whether that impacts your share price, or actually you worry about this trade war. We're talking about whiskey tariffs. What happens to the Campari tariff if we have one?
Well, you know, we've been operating in Italy for 157 years, so we've seen lots of things happen there, and we've thrived irrespective of what the situation was. If you think about trade wars, now clearly we don't think anybody would win in trade wars. Consumers surely wouldn't, and it will have coincidences because there will be tit for tat back and forth, and this thing will blow into something bigger. Having said that, clearly we would be impacted because our aperitifs get produced in Italy, and so does Grand Marnier, and we export them to the U.S. But on the other hand, you know, these are drinks which are specialties, and if there are any tariffs, we'll have to pass them on to the consumer. But we know that the Negroni is king, and people want to continue drinking Negronis.
I mean, how do you sell Negronis to the Asian market? Do you have to look holistically at the world and say, well, if the U.S. is much more protectionist, then I need to look for growth elsewhere? Is it Africa? Is it Asia?
Well, we're looking for growth everywhere. Probably much less exposed to Asia because of our portfolio. You know, the Camparis and the Aperols are doing well there, but more in the big cities, in the Shanghais and the Tokyos of this world, not really on a broad basis. Having said that, I mean, the rest of the world is our oyster.
So Martin Sorrell, within this product or any other product, is the new 30-second ad 15 seconds, or is it even less? Do you just assume the messaging of Campari or anyone else, the time function just squeezes down?
Well, I should declare an interest. We do work for Bob and his colleagues.
Yes.
So on Campari and its other products around the world, globally. And the answer, Tom, to your question is, as consumers' media consumption habits change, just like their product or service consumption habits change, we alter our approaches too. And as I said previously, if I went back 5 years, the digital part of our business was virtually non-existent, maybe up to about 6 or 7%. Now it's almost half of our business. And you asked me about what's going to happen 5 years hence. It will dominate our business and punctuate or permeate everything we do. And if consumers spend 3 seconds watching a mobile ad, or as I've seen in the press recently, a figure of 1.7 seconds, we will have to adapt what we do to take into account reduced attention spans or different responses. So we will tailor what we do and the messages we develop for Campari and others to how consumers are changing in their media consumption habits, whether they're shifting from established and traditional print and magazines to mobile and internet, whether it's outdoor, whether it's radio, whether it's linear TV. Well, you mentioned Comcast and the fight over Sky, whether it's paid pay-per-view or whatever it is, so subscription, or whether it's over the top like Hulu.
Bob, how are consumer habits changing? And if people are drinking more local, will you buy any more local brands, or is it with your brands that you try and change tastes around the world? Well,
people aren't drinking more local. People are drinking less but drinking better, and in most cases that means imported premium brands. So we're very well positioned. from that perspective, as well as from a category perspective. I mean, we're positioned across all of the hottest categories, be it tequila, be it bourbon, be it dark rum, the aperitifs. So we feel good about that. But coming back to the earlier point, we do a lot of work with WPP, and yesterday actually we revealed the new Grand Marnier campaign which they produced, and we'll have all sorts of lengths to that. And even Campari, which we did with them, we've also produced a 15-minute short movie, The Legend of Red Hand, which you can go and watch. So you can really scale up and down storytelling if you have a great idea.